Welcome to a very special episode of JOLT, where we dive deep into stories that inspire, challenge, and redefine what success looks like. I'm Arya Krishna Kumar.
I'm Nikita.
And we'll be hosting this episode today. Meet Mr. Krishna Chaitanya Garu, who's a BVRITian and also a product management leader at Google, who has led, built, and launched ideas that impact millions. We welcome you, sir. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, sir, how do you feel coming back to BVRI?
It's quite refreshing. A lot changed in 25 years. I couldn't recognize the entrance that I was getting into. So good to be back here, back to your roots where you all started.
Right. So can you just, to those who do not know what exactly you are, who exactly you are, can you give a short introduction of what you do at Google?
I work as a senior product manager on Google Messages specifically, on what we call RCS, which is Rich Communication Services. I work on satellite connectivity to bring ubiquitous connectivity where users, no matter which part of the world you are not constrained by connectivity. We want to connect you to the world irrespective of whether you have a cell network or not. So I work on the satellite technologies currently to connect people.
Great. Can you tell us about a young Casey? How were you as a kid?
Started in 2002 here. The campus didn't look quite what it was, and we didn't have mobile phones back then, so we had to talk to real people. So there's that, and which meant that you had more interpersonal interactions. The first year was more acclimatizing to people, getting to know them. Second year, we started engaging in placement cell, in more things outside the regular curriculum. And so second and third years were mostly occupied with that. I had my own share of fun. We've participated in zealots. I had done an infamous dance that was quite popular at the time, so I've enjoyed that little attention. And then by fourth year, I went on to an internship that I was thankful that I got the opportunity right through this campus.
All right, so you've moved from hands-on development to leadership roles. So what drove those transitions? What made you think Google was the right fit?
So I am still hands-on, by the way, but for different reasons. And one, it's more personal than a job expectation. And the reason I moved to Google was by the time I went to Google, I worked in telecommunications and communications industry, communication and media industry for about, let's say 15 years or 14 years-ish. And I had developed an expertise in a particular form of networking and communications. Google was at the forefront of bringing app and device experience to the users. Network was a binding agent. So we wanted to build a network and bring the best of Google to that network and bring that modernization aspect to the network. So that drove the interest for me. So that's why I joined Google to build one of the first edge computing for the 5G networks, I'd say.
So you've been involved with network for a quite period of your professional career. What is next for networking, or what is next for cloud computing, or what is the upcoming 5G?
It's slightly a broader question, but if I have to narrow it down, the next for communications is, I envision it as a ubiquitous communications network. Today, you're constrained by cell network availability. Right? There was a period when I was driving through the forest, getting here, I didn't have cell connectivity. I would say in near term, you would, as a user, you don't need to care whether you have how many bars on your phone. Right. We would power that through satellites and connect you through satellites. And that's where the investments are happening, so that you're connected all the time. So I would say it's an ubiquitous communication, whether you're on air, land, water, sea, anywhere, no matter where you are on Earth, you're connected. you don't need to worry about whether it's cell network, whether it's a satellite network, or whether it's another form of connectivity. So in the near term, we see that. Second thing, I would say, in terms of devices that the end users use, would say there will be more wearables that would come that would bring more smart experiences that you're seeing, right? Especially as users learn to use, consume AI powered experiences.
Do you think maybe top MNCs inspire from other products that have been in the past, or maybe from their competitions products?
Absolutely. And uh, so one is a case of inspiration and application. We've seen that historically through the experiences of, if you talked about how pixel-based screens came to computing devices. The pixel technology was invented by another company, and Apple took that and brought it to the foray. So inspirations and imitations are quite common, right? Because you've built a user base, you want to bring more to your users. So I would say that is a quite natural phenomena.
What do you think comes after AI? Is AI all, or what do you think comes after it?
It's hard to say what comes next in a technological evolution. The near term, or I would say, when I say near term, if you take the next 5 to 10 years of horizon, we're talking about robotics, and robotics with AI as an important thing. And if you look at AI, there's much more to be done. We've talked about autonomous vehicles, right? How to scale autonomous vehicles into mainstream. Right now, the adoption from our own suite of Waymo vehicles, publicly as we disclosed, right now the number of Waymo trips in San Francisco are higher than Lyft rides, and we're expanding into more and more cities. And you think about building cars, how can you build these factories? For example, some of the companies like Tesla, who have automated the manufacturing process quite a bit, right, to build vehicles, in a lack of a better word, like a 3D print, right, the bodies and assemble them. So there's a whole work there to make it more autonomous, where the car itself can be built in an autonomous way. We're talking about satellite connectivity for using several things, and how do you improve and automate the processes in satellites, so that today, when you have like a handful of companies who are doing it, where more and more companies can join, right? Because we are now creating a dependency on satellite connectivity across the world. So there's a lot, and last, and you take healthcare, right? There's a lot that needs to be solved there. The diseases that have to be cured, the drugs that have to be discovered. So there's no dearth of problems, right? So the evolution of the technology depends on what becomes the most important problem. But the near-term horizon, I would say, is like adoption and evolution of AI. Right? AI is still we're in very, very early stages of AI. That being said, even as much as the progress is impressive, we are in very early stages. There's a long way to go. Then you have robotics. So we'll have to see through all of this progress and consume these progress, right, before we talk about the next phase.
So, what would you suggest our students to learn such that they get adapted to the work culture of such companies which are already using AI for their code bases and all that?
If I were a student, I would take advantage of the availability of the AI features to students, especially that companies are making, be it, I would say, be it the new Gemini plan that was given free, or other Microsoft things. I would go to AI studio.google.com, right? I would learn how to build things. You could learn uh, things the way you want to learn at your speed, right? And build things. The barrier for developing prototypes has brought to nearly zero. You have to have the intent to go. It takes 10 minutes to set these things, and your browser is pretty much turning into an IDE where you can write code and build and experiment and learn that way. So the first things I would do is I would go use one of these tools, right? Learn to build something, learn to bring your ideas to fruition. And if you have an idea to develop a product, expressing your thoughts, if you're not good at communicating that, taking help of AI to write a document based on your thoughts, reading that, or building that prototype and showing what you believe in rather than slides and docs. As a student, that's what I would do. I would prototype, iterate, build because the future is going to be for the ones who take the help of AI to build things, because you would need to be a very powerful troubleshooter to know whether the code is secure, whether it is production scalable, what are the drawbacks, where does it lack. So which means that you need to have enough time to experiment. You should have worked quite a bit on that to reach that stage. That's what I would do. So I would use the AI companions that you have, the publicly available, not the conversational interface itself, be it ChatGPT or Gemini, not just that. I would go and use aistudio.google.com or Cursor, one of these, and prototype.
So, senior roles, of course, look very glamorous from the outside. But then, can you give us a reality check? What happens inside? Can you give us a behind the scenes look?
The focus shifts more on people alignment and strategy alignment, and at times you spend lesser time on doing technical things. Right? So I would say, so as seniors you get, and of course for the right reasons, is to bring an alignment with the people who are aligned on the same goal, and to outline the strategy, because the direction you set is what the team will march on, and that will decide which way the product shapes and user shapes, and how are you using the right decision making points to come up with that strategy is the key thing. So I would say, as the more senior you get, the more time you spend on people management and strategy, and aligning people to the mission that you have.
So we'll have some rapid fire questions. What's one book you keep coming back to?
Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson.
So if not in tech, what would you be doing now?
Maybe a researcher in a chemistry lab.
Work from home or back to office?
Office. My personal opinion.
Sir, I have this personal doubt. Were you an extracurricular guy, or were you totally into academics when you were in college?
Fully extracurricular.
Well, sir, any final thoughts for the listeners who are probably just starting their careers?
Learn, be curious, and I would say to what probably one of world's greatest leaders told: stay hungry, stay foolish.
It was great talking to you, sir. Nice meeting you.